From a flicker of candlelight in 1789 to the glare of modern screens in the West Wing, every president has held the pen. Executive orders not passed by Congress, but etched into law by command. Some shaped history. Some sparked controversy. Others were forgotten. Until now. This is where we break them down. Every signature, every shift in power, every consequence still felt today. From Washington to Biden, welcome to Executive Order Watch.
Democracy, we live for it. For democracy, we fight for it. For democracy, we've died for it. And for democracy, we watch it. This is Executive Order Watch.
My fellow Americans, this year, 1948, was no ordinary chapter in our history. It was a proving ground, a time when the soul of this nation was tested, not just by external threats or economic burdens, but by the fundamental question of who we are and what we stand for. I faced critics from all directions. Newspapers declared me a lame duck. Pundits dismissed our administration as finished. They said the American people wouldn't rally behind progress, behind fairness, behind plain-spoken truth. But they were wrong. You, the American people, proved them wrong, not just at the polls, but in the streets, the factories, the farms, and the front yards of every town from Maine to California. In July, I stood before the nation and issued Executive Order 9981, desegregating the armed forces of the United States. I did not do this for applause. I did it because it was right, because no man who fights and dies under the American flag should be treated as a second-class citizen. We also signed Executive Order 9980, bringing equality into the federal workforce. These were not small steps. These were the beginning of a long, necessary march toward civil rights and dignity for all Americans, black, white, rich, poor. And I did not shrink from foreign threats. When the Soviet Union tightened its grip on Berlin, I ordered the Berlin airlift, not with tanks, but with planes, delivering food, coal, and resolve. Day after day for months, our aircraft lit up the skies of Germany with hope. It was a message to the world. America does not abandon her friends, and freedom will not be blockaded. This was also the year we solidified the Marshall Plan, putting billions into rebuilding Europe, not as charity, but as strategy. A prosperous Europe is a peaceful Europe. A strong world economy protects our own. And of course, this was the year of the election. They said I couldn't win. They said the country wanted something else. But I believed in the common sense and courage of the American people. I believed that if I took my case directly to you, town by town, whistle stop by whistle stop, you'd see that our cause was your cause. You did. You defied every pollster, every pundit, and every prediction. And in doing so, you didn't just re-elect a president, you reaffirmed a vision of an America that works for the many, not the few. So as we close 1948, I say this, not with pride, but with purpose. We have work left to do: civil rights, fair housing, national security, global peace, and the defense of democracy itself. The path ahead won't be easy, but neither was 1948, and we met it head on, together. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Executive orders. Executive Order 9919, delegating authority and establishing procedures under the joint resolution approved December 30, 1947, signed January 3148. Executive Order 9928, suspending professional examinations for permanent promotion of officers in the Medical Department of the Army, January 21, 1448. Executive Order 9929, creating an emergency board. to investigate a dispute between the Akron, Caton, and Youngstown Railroad Company and other carriers, January 27, 1948. Executive Order 9930, authorizing and directing the publication of the 1949 edition of the Code of Federal Regulations, February 4, 1948. Executive Order 9931, amendment of Executive Order 9905, February 1914-48. Executive Order 9932, acquisition of competitive status and reemployment of certain persons appointed or assigned to the Foreign Service, February 27, 1948. Executive Order 9934, creating a board of inquiry to report on a labor dispute affecting the operation of atomic energy facilities, March 51948. Executive Order 9934A, creating a board of inquiry to report on a labor dispute affecting the meatpacking industry, March 15, 1948. Executive Order 9935, directing the transfer of certain vessels to the government of Italy, March 16, 1948. Executive Order 9936, creating an emergency board to investigate a dispute between the Terminal Railroad Association of St. Louis and certain of its employees, March 18, 1948. Executive Order 9937, authorizing agencies participating in the Philippine Rehabilitation Program, March 20, 1948. Executive Order 9938, revoking Executive Order 9544, authorizing control of a certain airport, March 22, 1948. Executive Order 9940, creating an emergency board to investigate a dispute between the Railway Express Agency, Inc. and certain of its employees, March 25148. Executive Order 9941, authorizing the Secretary of State to prescribe Foreign Service Retirement Disability System rules, March 2016, 48. Executive Order 9942, providing for the performance of certain functions under the Rubber Act of 1948, April 1948. Executive Order 9943, providing for carrying out the Foreign Assistance Act of 1948, April 9, 1948. Executive Order 9955, regulations pertaining to promotions to certain grades in public health service, May 6, 1948. Executive Order 9956, exemption of Harry B. Mitchell from compulsory retirement for age, May 6, 1948. Executive Order 9957, possession, control, and operation of railroads, May 10, 1948. Executive Order 9958, creating an emergency board to investigate a dispute between National Airlines, Inc. and employees, May 15, 1948. Executive Order 9959, creating a board of inquiry affecting communications industry labor dispute, May 18, 1948. Executive Order 9961, directing Civil Service Commission reemployment rights determinations, May 1914-48. Executive Order 9962, regulations governing payment of salaries, compensations outside continental U.S. or Alaska, May 2014-48. Executive Order 9963, exemption of Samuel B. Hill from compulsory retirement for age, May 2018, 1948. Executive Order 9964, creating a board of inquiry affecting maritime industry dispute, June 3, 1948. Executive Order 9965, creating an emergency board to investigate disputes between National Airlines, Inc. and employees, June 3, 1948. Executive Order 9966, exemption of Carol Miller from compulsory retirement for age, June 4, 1948. Executive Order 9967, designation of certain officers to act as Secretary of Agriculture, June 12, 1948. Executive Order 9968, designation of certain officers to act as Secretary of Labor, June 17, 1948. Executive Order 9669, suspension of 8-hour law for Alaska Railroad work, June 1948. Executive Order 9970, creating a Board of Inquiry Labor Dispute Bituminous Coal Industry, June 1948. Executive Order 9971, creating an Emergency Board for Army Transportation Disputes, June 23, 1948. Executive Order 9972, designating the International Joint Commission U.S.-Canada, June 25, 1948. Executive Order 9973, amendment of EO 9830, amending Civil Service Rules, June 28, 1948. Executive Order 9973A, exemption of Frank H. Wang from compulsory retirement for age, July 2, 1948. Executive Order 9974, extension of 9898, suspending 8-hour law on certain public works, July 11948. Executive Order 9975, regulations governing travel expenses for veterans claimants, July 7, 1948. Executive Order 9976, amendment of EO 9871, grants allowances for enlisted personnel on foreign duty, July 12, 1948. Executive Order 9977, discontinuing certain district land offices, July 14148. Executive Order 9978, transfer of district land offices to Boise, Idaho, July 17, 1948. Executive Order 9979, prescribing portions of selective service regulations and delegating authority, July 20, 1948. Executive Order 9980, regulations governing fair employment practices within federal establishment, July 2016, 48. Executive Order 9981, establishing the President's Committee on Equality of Treatment and Opportunity in Armed Services, July 2016, 48. Executive Order 9982, extending provisions of EO 9870, Foreign Service Allowances Allotments, July 29148. Executive Order 9983, exemption of Garland S. Ferguson from compulsory retirement for age, July 31, 1948. Executive Order 9984, clothing regulations for enlisted personnel, Navy Coast Guard, July 31, 1948. Executive Order 9985, appointment of Mrs. Margaret E. Batick without civil service compliance, August 16, 1948. Executive Order 9986, sale of vessels of the Navy, August 16, 1948. Executive Order 9987, creating a Board of Inquiry affecting maritime industry labor dispute, August 17, 1948. Executive Order 10015, amendment of EO 10010, Emergency Board for Akron and Barberton Belt Railroad dispute, November 5, 1948.
Executive Order 10016, Coat of Arms, Seal, and Flag of the Vice President of the United States, November 10148. Executive Order 10017, Amendment of Regulations Governing Appointment of Fourth-Class Postmasters, November 15, 1948. Executive Order 10019, Excusing Federal Employees from Duty, 1/2 day on December 2014, 48. Executive Order 10020, prescribing the manual for courts-martial U.S. Army, 1949, December 7, 1948, Executive Order 10,023, Amendment of Executive Order 9,984, Clothing Regulations for Enlisted Personnel, December 2019, 48, Executive Order 10,024, Restoration of Lands to Location and Entry under Mining Laws, December 31st, 1948, Executive Order 10,025, designating public international organizations entitled to privileges, exemptions, and immunities, December 31st, 1948.
Pauline's Pizza, where we deliver happiness one slice at a time. What's your craving today?
Yeah, hi. Is Seymour there?
Oh, Seymour. I think he might be busy making our special pies. But hey, why not swing by the pizzeria? We've got a pie with your name on it. Anything else I can help you with?
I was looking for Seymour Butts.
Ah, I see. Well, if you're looking for Seymour Butts, he might be hiding behind a pepperoni slice. Anything else I can do for you today?
No, that's it.
Hi, I'm Terrence, a marketing professional with a passion for helping your business grow smarter and faster. Here at DaBomb Digital Media, based right here in Atlanta, Georgia, we specialize in bringing your vision to life. Whether you're launching your first website or reimagining your entire digital presence, we've got you covered. From modern website design and search engine optimization to setting up your own AI-powered agency tools, we deliver innovative solutions that keep you ahead of the curve. Ready to unlock your business's full potential? Let's build something remarkable together. For more information, visit our YouTube channel. Just search DaBomb Digital Media on YouTube and start exploring tips, success stories, and everything you need to elevate your
48. My fellow Americans, tonight I want to take you back to a pivotal year in American history, 1948. A year that tested the moral resolve of a nation still finding its way after the devastations of World War II. A year when we stood at the threshold of civil rights reform, of Cold War tension, and of defining who we were going to be, not just in the eyes of the world, but in our own conscience. President Harry S. Truman was at the helm. And let me tell you, this man didn't flinch when the moment called for courage. It was the year of the Berlin airlift, when America refused to let the Soviet blockade starve West Berlin into submission. It was a year of the Marshall Plan, when we didn't just win a war, we helped rebuild a continent. And it was a year when Truman said enough is enough and began the process of breaking down the walls of segregation and systemic discrimination in our own federal government. Let me walk you through 10 executive orders that Truman signed in 1948, 10 decisions that still ripple through our laws, our institutions, and our values. 1. Executive Order 9,981, establishing the President's Committee on Equality of Treatment and Opportunity in the Armed Services, signed July 26, 1948. This order began the desegregation of the U.S. military. It was a moral earthquake that said every man and woman who wore the uniform deserved dignity, regardless of color. Today, our integrated armed forces stand as one of our strongest examples of unity and professionalism. 2. Executive Order 9,980, regulations governing fair employment practices within the federal establishment, signed July 26, 1948. It barred racial discrimination in federal employment. This was the blueprint for later civil rights legislation and helped institutionalize equal opportunity in public service. Third Executive Order 9,975, regulations governing travel expenses for veterans claimants, signed July 7, 1948. This helped returning World War II veterans access the benefits and support they were promised. It's the kind of step that showed government doesn't abandon its warriors, and that commitment carries on today in our VA reforms. Fourth Executive Order 9,943, carrying out the Foreign Assistance Act of 1948, signed April 9, 1948. This implemented the Marshall Plan, ensuring the recovery of Europe from fascism and destruction. It showed the world that American leadership is rooted in rebuilding, not occupying. Fifth Executive Order 9,937, authorizing agencies participating in the Philippine Rehabilitation Program, signed March 20th, 1948. This helped our ally, the Philippines, recover after years of brutal occupation. It was a commitment to international partnership, one that echoes in our alliances today. Sixth Executive Order 9973, Amendment of Civil Service Rules, signed June 28, 1948. It modernized civil service processes and emphasized merit-based appointments, laying groundwork for a professional federal workforce, one that serves without fear or favor. 7. Executive Order 9957, Possession, Control, and Operation of Railroads, signed May 10, 1948. When a major labor strike threatened the economy, Truman acted to preserve essential services. This raised the ever-relevant question of balancing labor rights and national interest. 8. Executive Order 9979, Selective Service Regulations and Delegation of Authority, signed July 20, 1948. This streamlined the draft system as the Cold War emerged, ensuring our nation's readiness while navigating a new geopolitical landscape. 9. Executive Order 10016, Coat of Arms, Seal, and Flag of the Vice President, signed November 10, 1948. A symbol, yes, but also a formalization of the evolving importance of the Vice Presidency, preparing the office for the more active role it plays today. 10th Executive Order 10025, Privileges of Public International Organizations, signed December 30, 1948. This order reaffirmed U.S. support for international institutions, helping to lay the framework for cooperation through the United Nations and global partnerships. In 1948, Truman wasn't leading in a vacuum. He had the courage to lead against popular opinion, against political risk, because it was right, because justice and equality don't wait for comfort or convenience. Today, as we continue the work of equity, diplomacy, and peace, let us remember 1948 not just as a year of post-war policy, but as a year of moral assertion, democratic resilience, and human dignity. Let's live up to that legacy, not just with words, but with action. God bless you all, and may God bless the United States of America.
Good evening, truth seekers. As we close the chapter on President Harry S. Truman's first term, we pause, not just to document history, but to understand its ripple effects across generations. Truman didn't begin his presidency by election, but by fate. Yet in that sudden transition, following the death of FDR, he rose to confront the defining challenges of a world at war's end and a nation in transformation. Let's start with what he did right. Truman was no polished statesman when he stepped into the Oval Office. But he was decisive, pragmatic, and unafraid to make bold calls. In 1945, he authorized the use of atomic weapons to end the war in the Pacific, an action that saved lives by some measures and haunted humanity by others. But it was in the years that followed that his moral compass became clearer. On civil rights, Truman broke with tradition. He desegregated the military with Executive Order 9981, saying, "There shall be equality of treatment and opportunity, without regard to race, color, religion, or national origin." Created the President's Committee on Civil Rights via Executive Order 9808, which laid the groundwork for everything from Brown v. Board to the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Called for federal protections against lynching and for voting rights. Moves that, while blocked in Congress, sparked the conversation at the federal level. Let's be clear, these were monumental for the time. Before Truman, no modern president had used the executive pen so directly to challenge racism. That mattered then, and it still echoes now. But this story is also layered. Truman didn't fully dismantle segregation. His actions were often politically calculated, knowing the Democratic Party was splitting between Southern Dixiecrats and Northern liberals. He didn't push civil rights legislation as forcefully as later presidents would. And while he was progressive on paper, he sometimes lacked the public passion or sustained follow-through that movements truly needed. Internationally, his term saw the Marshall Plan, Truman Doctrine, and the start of the Cold War. He positioned the United States as a global leader, but also helped lay the foundations for decades of proxy conflict, espionage, and nuclear brinkmanship. At home, he stood up to striking workers, sometimes harshly. He seized industries via executive orders to maintain economic control, earning him enemies among labor groups and civil libertarians alike. So what's the verdict? Truman's first term wasn't perfect, but it was pivotal. He ended one war and braced for another. He elevated civil rights from the shadows into national policy. He laid down frameworks that presidents from Eisenhower to Obama would build on. And he showed America and the world that moral leadership isn't about perfection. It's about direction. So as we turn the page and prepare for his second term, we honor both the gains and the gaps. We celebrate his courage, scrutinize his compromises, and keep asking, how do we build a better union, one decision, one generation at a time? For history, for justice, for democracy. For democracy, we live for it. We die for it. See you on the path. Some write history with blood, some with laws, but the sharpest stroke comes from the pen. Executive power ain't just a tool, it's a weapon wielded by the few, affecting the many. They sign it, we live it. They order it, we obey it. Here, watching, digging, remembering, from the plantation to the proclamation, from internment camps to civil rights stands, from surveillance laws to student loan draws. Order can change your life, and you might not even know it, but now you do. So stay locked in, stay woke, stay sharp. We ain't just talking about power, we tracking it. Executive Order Watch, and we ain't blinking.